JSB Talks Digital.
Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, digital transformation champions, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke and this podcast is brought to you by Digital Training Institute. In this episode number 116, I'm giving praise to Facebook groups, a remarkable free tool available to marketers. But are you making the most of them? Listen to this podcast and you'll find out. In social media news, Google Chrome turns 10 and celebrates with major updates. Buffer shares results on the impact of retweeting our own tweets, and Twitter's testing a new layout for replies focused on improving engagement. I interview Michelle Duffy-Rudden of Hobie about their role in testing Facebook subscription groups. In shoutouts, 3 underutilized Facebook group hacks to deliver better results. Ask JSB in JSB's column, how to leverage the power of Facebook groups by using your authentic voice. And find out what social media tool saved my working week.
Social media news.
Internet browser Google Chrome celebrates its 10th birthday this month. To mark it, a number of updates were announced. Chrome has regular updates every 6 weeks, but in a blog post, Ellie Powers and Chris Beckman from the Chrome product management team said our 10th birthday update is bigger than normal. Among the updates are a new look Chrome with new icons, more rounded features, and a new colour palette. Chrome will now more accurately fill in your passwords, addresses, and credit card numbers so that you can fly through online checkout forms without any delay. But of course, that's if you want it to. It can also auto-generate passwords for you on desktop and mobile and save them both for you. And finally, the Omni box, the box at the top of Chrome that combines the search bar and the address bar into one, now shows you answers directly in the address bar without having to open a new tab. In February 2018, Twitter updated its rules to prohibit sharing tweets that are identical or substantially similar to one another. This prompted social media management tool Buffer to explore new ways to amplify important tweets. Alfred Lua from Buffer decided to start retweeting his own top tweets to see if it was a good way to increase reach and engagement. According to his Buffer overview report, his tweets in June received on average 2,500 impressions, 93 engagements and 30 likes. Whereas one particular tweet that he retweeted received almost 10,000 impressions, 203 engagements and 94 likes after he retweeted it. This is a very interesting hack. Will you try it? I'm definitely going to test it. Twitter is experimenting with a couple of new variations for tweet interactions. Twitter product manager Sarah Hyder posted about the tests and asked tweeters for feedback. The main design changes include threaded replies to individual responses, making it easier to see who's responding to what tweet. Colour coding for responses from the original tweet poster and yourself. And green dots on profile images within chains to indicate when a user is active. Some nice new features, hopefully that will be rolled out everywhere from Twitter.
Interview.
In this episode, I interview Michelle Duffy-Rudden, owner of Breffni Digital and co-owner of Hobie, Humans of Business Ireland, which was born out of Irish Biz Party. Hobie was recently chosen by Facebook to take part in testing the recently announced Facebook subscription groups. So I decided to ask Michelle how and why Hobie was chosen and how practically Facebook subscription groups work.
JSB Talks Digital.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining me on JSB Talks Digital. And this is not your first time, right?
No, this is, I think, my second. Yeah.
It is. So you're one of the very few people who've been on the show twice, but we have so much to talk about because lots of exciting things have been happening in your social media world, but I'm not going to get to that just yet. Let's start talking about Irish Biz Party and that business community that you are growing, and also that you're nurturing and cultivating in a Facebook group.
Wow, well, that sounds very horticultural or something. It is a wonderful community of supportive small business owners who really, their only gain from it is what they put into the community. So if they give support and they're seen as a great member of the community, people are only too happy to refer business back to them or help them in their times of need. And it's always been a very positive community and not one that we ever charged any money for. So by we, Chris McGillicuddy down in Kerry and myself look after it in terms of moderating it and trying to bring them news and opportunities when that comes up. And we've been working on a plan for a while as to how we could turn that into a better business model for us, because it does take time and effort. But we never wanted to kind of tax the membership, because we've seen that tried and fail a few times before. And we looked at it maybe branching out into a different digital product. So we were playing around with different website templates, and we were even looking at building an app. And all of those things are very costly, so that leads to building decks to try and get investment. And that's what we've been working on for the guts of 2 years, trying to figure out what is the best way to bring this forward without harming its integrity as we move along.
And of course, Chris and you guys run your own businesses, right?
That's right. So he has the Brand Geeks, which is a promotion and marketing company down in Kerry, and I have Breffney Digital, which is a marketing consultancy business. So we're both self-employed, and in that way, I suppose we have a huge level of empathy with the members of Irish Biz Party, in that we totally get it when you're trying to juggle everything and the entrepreneurship journey and its highs and lows. But at the same time, this is kind of the side hustle for both of us, and it can be hard to fit this in time-wise if it becomes a big commitment.
And the Facebook group is the hub of that community. Has that been useful and beneficial both to you and Chris, but also to the members?
Very much so. So this all started as a hashtag on Twitter, and at that time, it was a lot easier to get things trending. Twitter was more of a marketing platform than it is now, and now it's very much, as you know, a news and events platform. And I suppose in Irish Biz Party's very early days, the question would have been, are you on Facebook or Twitter with your business? And it was, are you B2B or B2C? And you were on Twitter if you were B2B, and you were on Facebook if you were B2C. And then Facebook's platform built out into so many different products, and its membership grew. Twitter changed, like I say, away from the marketing style of social media towards news and events. So we saw our community shift from being so Twitter-based to the Facebook group actually becoming really, really active and growing. And people went into more depth with their posts in there. People got more engagement on their posts in there than the Twitter party. We also saw the Twitter engagement levels, even when they were steady, we could tell a lot of it was automated, and that is not real engagement. Whereas the Facebook group is always really the people behind the businesses. They're not scheduled posts, they're not bots, it's real people, and that's what a community is, I think, is people, not just how many tweets or how many engagements. So I suppose when we looked at those metrics and said, okay, we started to put more of our effort into the Facebook group than Twitter. We moved the Twitter thing from being 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night to being all day on a Wednesday, to being all week, really. We just didn't want it focused on such a short window of time, because that used to work for trending purposes, but like I say, now it just became, I'll schedule some tweets to go out at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, that way I'm still taking part, but they weren't even online. So the Facebook group has been such a place. It's just been such an active place and such a positive place. We see people in there. We've seen a couple of times where people have been ready to throw the towel in, and they've got the support and solidarity that they need from another member. We know that a lot of conversations start in there and then are taken into private messages or phone calls or cups of coffee in real life, where it's not always about the bad days either. Sometimes it's about wanting to celebrate something. Maybe you've been nominated for an award, and sometimes as an entrepreneur you announce that at home or with your friends, and they kind of go, "And did you win?" Or how much did you get paid for that? Or they ask you something that you think, but you're not understanding. I got mentioned somewhere I wanted to be, or I got some sort of validation, and only another entrepreneur gets that. So it's about celebrating the little wins, helping each other with challenges as they come up, and there's no such thing as a stupid question in there. So I suppose when you're an expert in something, if someone comes along and asks a question that's blatantly obvious to you because you're further on in business or because that's your forte, nobody would ever mock anyone in there, and you can ask anything about growing your business.
What size is the community now in the Facebook group?
It's touching 4,500 now. We're almost at 4,500 members.
So I get the feeling at the same time that you and Chris were trying to rethink and evolve Irish Biz Party and that community of entrepreneurs across Ireland, that Zuck over in California was having some thoughts about evolving Facebook groups. So this leads me to what's been happening with Facebook, with the Irish Biz Party Facebook group over the past couple of months. Share it with our listeners.
So I suppose the algorithm change back in January, where we started to see more in our news feeds from our friends than business pages, absolutely sucked for business pages because organic reach hit the floor. So unless you had exceptionally good content and a great strategy or a bigger ad budget, it's been a tough year for Facebook pages. Having said that, when I could see that more personal posts were appearing in newsfeed, that of course included posts in groups that you were a member of, because the only posts in groups are from people. So I've always said that groups were a neglected product by Facebook in terms of a revenue maker for them. I have always wanted a Facebook ad facility in groups. It would be great if you could even just boost a post and make sure that all members got an announcement or something. So I've always had a bit of some ideas for Facebook groups. And a couple of months back, a Facebooker got in touch with the Irish Biz Party page and wanted our feedback on what it was like to run such a busy group. So when anything on Facebook is not making them money, you can be sure at some stage in the future it's going to. So, I mean, Messenger was free and was ad-free for a long time, and now there's ads in there. So they asked for feedback on groups. I was very happy to go on that call and give them lots of feedback, because like I say, I've lots of ideas as a marketer, as an admin, and as a Facebook user. So gave them all my feedback. They said it was all really good and they'd take it to the team, and that was super. I was just chuffed to be, asked for my feedback. And they said that our group was one of the busiest, biggest groups in Ireland, which I knew that anyway. So that was fine. She added me to a group of what they call their power admins. And it's just admins of really busy communities on Facebook. But in there, sometimes Facebook will post an opportunity, and they did, and said that they were going to be bringing out a new product aimed at groups, and would people like to be the first ones to try this out? I still didn't know what this feature was. I just knew that I wanted in. So I applied and went through kind of a screening process with them, and they narrowed it down to 20 groups worldwide, and we're the only Irish one, who now have access to a subscription group. So it's a subscription group that's linked to what we're calling our parent group. So Irish Biz Party will stay alive and kicking, stays free, nothing changes. We don't have to shut anything down. We don't have to start charging membership. Irish Biz Party lives on. But Irish Biz Party members have exclusive access to this new subscription group. So one of the things that they wanted from a group admin to be allowed to participate in this test run was, how are you going to make your paid group look and feel substantially different to your free group? I was like, well, I just happen to have this brand suite sitting here that I've been working on. So we had Anthony Slevin, he's a great graphic designer, working with us on a new brand. I came up with the name Hobie months and months ago, which stands for the Humans of Business in Ireland, because I wanted to refresh the Irish Biz Party thing. I wanted to make it stand for something more than just a Twitter hashtag, or more than just, some people don't get it. They think it's a political party, or they think it's just events and those kind of parties. So I had the name, I had the logo, I had everything ready to go. I had the business plan. I know where I want to take this. I know the value I want to deliver members. I know that myself and Chris do need a revenue stream. And it just fitted in perfectly with what Facebook are trying to do, which was bring out subscription groups, but initially have them linked to busy communities that already see the value in being part of a group. But we're also not making anybody pay for the subscription. If they want to just stay part of the free group, that's totally fine too.
So how is the revenue going to be split between you and Chris as the owners of Hobie, and then Facebook, and then maybe a payment gateway in the middle?
Yeah, so it's a catch-22 really, because we know that people will sign up quickly and easily on mobile. But if they sign up on mobile, Google or Apple, depending on whether they're on an Android or an iPhone, take 30% off the subscription fee, which is really hefty.
Wow, that's the highest I've ever heard.
It's huge, and that is for the first 12 months. So there is an option to sign up on desktop, and purely for our own reasons, we would prefer if people would sign up on desktop. But, I don't want to push that too hard either, because if you've got your phone in your hand and you're about to sign up and you think, oh no, Michelle said I'd do it from my computer, so I'll do it later, maybe they'll forget, or you know what I mean? So I'd rather sign up on mobile than a procrastination about doing it on desktop. But they're taking 30% from the mobile ones, and then at the moment Facebook are not looking for any share with us, so I don't know what that's going to look like when this rolls out to everybody. But at the moment they're interested in our feedback on the invitation flow, onboarding members, fixing any bugs, all that kind of stuff, before they roll this out to everybody. So really that's what they want from us, not money at the moment.
And what's your impression so far? I know you've had it at this stage probably over a week. How have you found it?
It feels very much like a regular Facebook group. It doesn't feel any different in there. It is one of those things that's going to take time for people to join and feel the benefits of it. So this is, I suppose, up to us as the admins to put good, valuable content in front of them that they can feel the value for their subscription, and then try and have some sort of marketing plan there that your members who have felt the value bring you more members. So good feedback and good reviews when it's up and running and the benefits are active will bring us more members. It's something that I don't want to put pressure on people to join, because I don't want Irish Biz Party to fizzle out, and I don't want people to feel like, well, I better cough up now or this community is going to die off. It's not like that. This really is just moving things up a level and putting longer form content in front of them. So where you could always post and get an expert to answer your question, there's only so much you can get into a Facebook comment, and there's only so much time that you can expect of that expert to deliver, in comment sections on threads in a group. Whereas if an expert's invited in to go deep on their topic in their niche, then that's when we know that we can bring real value to the members.
Do you think this is your opportunity to finally commercialise what you have been building and cultivating and nurturing for a couple of years now? Because I honestly think that it's time that, there was an income stream for you guys because of the value that the members get out. Is Facebook going to be your friend on this one?
Yeah, big time. So it's part of the revenue plan, but it's not the whole thing, because at $9.99 a month, by the time we pay our digital sales tax and Google or Apple take their cut and, we have costs and outlays, I don't want to put all my eggs in this basket. It is great that this opportunity is here, but really the money is to be made in partnering with advertisers and saying, look, we've got the community. It's made up of X, Y, and Z. Do you want your big brand put in front of this? And that's where I've always seen the commercialisation of the community. And that's the tricky bit, is doing that without harming its integrity. So being very choosy about who we partner with for advertising, and not making all the content we put in front of our members paid ads either. So there's a balance there between organic stuff and paid stuff, and doing it in a way that's very transparent so that they always know if it is a paid partnership with somebody. But I think that's long term, that's where I see the revenue for us, is that we've built the community, we have them warmed up and very receptive to having offers or events or stuff like that put in front of them. And if people want to partner with us, we know our community, we know the segments of it, and we know what they react well to.
Michelle, thank you so much for coming on and letting us know about the new Facebook group subscription model. Please promote Hobie and tell people where they can find you and how they can join.
So Hobie.ie is coming soon, but really to get to Hobie, they need to be a member of Irish Biz Party, and it's totally free to join. So it's the easiest thing that they can do to take the next step with us, is to go and into the search box on Facebook and look for the Irish Biz Party group and join there. And there are 3 questions. It's really just how you heard about us, what your business is, and would you like to join the mailing list? And once you've answered those 3 questions, you're in.
Okay, Michelle Duffy-Rudden, a pleasure as always, and I'll talk to you soon, and hopefully inside Hobie.
Thanks, Joanne.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shout-outs to brands, organisations or individuals whose work online is remarkable and worth talking about. In this episode, I'm sharing 3 Facebook group hacks to help you skyrocket your marketing results. Following the Facebook algorithm update in January 2018, we saw Facebook page reach plummet, known as Facebook Zero. Groups were revitalised with a number of new and powerful features this year, which you should be leveraging to get better results for your Facebook marketing efforts. Groups are all about community, and having more personalised and relevant conversations will pay off.
1.
Watch parties let you share public videos on Facebook to a group and watch it in real time with other group members. You can view and react to the video all at once, similar to how users can interact while watching a live broadcast. This is useful for those of us sharing industry updates or knowledge, and thus prompting a group discussion on a particular topic being illustrated in the video. Your group members will see a post in the group that a watch party has started, but you can also invite people to the viewing in order to catch their attention and their interest.
2.
If you have a social learning Facebook group, you can add learning units. The Facebook group's social learning features allows admins and users to track progress, makes it really easy to find posts, and stay up to date on what conversations are happening, helping you retain members and decrease your churn rates. Having units allows you to organise content for easy reference later, enables your learners to catch up if they've fallen behind, and it gives them a measurable way to track their progress.
3.
Having the right people in your Facebook group is so important. Many people fall into the trap of focusing on the numbers. I love the group feature that allows you to ask pending member requests a series of qualifying questions. In my Public Sector Marketing Pros Facebook group, I only accept those who answer my qualifying questions. It's a closed group only for public sector marketing professionals. I've refused a number of requests for 1, failing to answer the questions, or 2, not being right for the group?
Ask JSB.
In this week's Ask JSB, Barry wants to know if a private web forum or a closed Facebook group is best for paid members taking part in an online programme. That's a great question, Barry, and that's actually a question that I asked myself when I was developing public sector marketing pros. So you might know that my audience are professionals who work in government agencies. I tested a Facebook group, and what I found is that while they would like my posts and they would see my posts, they actually wouldn't engage. Hence, I decided to make the ultimate decision to move my paid learners into a private web forum on my website within the Learning Hub. So my advice to you is to do the same thing. Reach out to your audience and ask them what they prefer. I know a lot of my colleagues who have online programs actually use Facebook groups because they argue people are used to Facebook groups. They have the app on their phone. They know how to navigate and they're always logged in. So I guess the answer is it depends on what your users really want. Both sets of functionality will do the job, but it just depends on your own audience. If you have a digital marketing or social media question, don't forget you will have it answered on the show by using the hashtag AskJSB on Twitter or Instagram. You can also leave me a voicemail with your question at digitaltraininginstitute.ie/AskJSB.
JSB's column.
In today's JSB's column, I'm sharing how to leverage the power of Facebook groups by using your authentic voice. So, why would you actually create a Facebook group? Perhaps you want to give exclusive content to a VIP or a specific group of people. Maybe you're organising an event and those who've purchased tickets can come into the group to have pre-event conversations. You might want to build your community. Or you might want to funnel people into your sales and marketing pipeline and keep their attention. Facebook groups are a great way to do this. Or if, like me, you might want to be recognized as the go-to expert so that you can answer their questions on the go. If you haven't started a Facebook group or if you have one already, now's a good time to reflect on these key points. Are you clear on your objectives? There's absolutely no point in setting up a Facebook group just willy-nilly. Ask yourself, why am I starting this group? How will it serve my business or my organisation? Are you intending to monetize the group by selling into it or adding it as part of an overall offering? With everything online, the more niche you go, the better the engagement. The next question you need to ask yourself is, are you clear on your audience? Who are you serving anyway? Who will join and participate in this group? Is there defined criteria? Is this the audience you want for your business, for an event, or to engage in a public sector campaign? Finally, is the brand name or are you using relevant keywords in the group name? Remember, people often search for topics in Facebook, so this can help you get more discoverability. When it comes to using your authentic voice, I would advise you to be a bit more honest in your Facebook group than on other social networks. Give your VIPs much more of yourself. Share more of you in your group. Maximize all of the Facebook group features. Many of these are unique to groups and will tap into your authentic voice and your true personality. I shared 3 of these already in the shout-out sections, but become familiar with your group features by navigating around it a few times a week. I often find that I discover a new feature every time I'm in, and it gives me some creative ideas to create some new and interesting content. I've also created a posting schedule so that I'm committed to speaking to and engaging with the members of my group. I also follow them on Twitter, and I will highlight some of their wins in the Facebook group so that everybody else can see it. That's showing that I actually care. Also, why not go live in the group and encourage interaction? Maybe you might do this weekly or at least monthly. Another great thing to do is to set the ground rules. So far, everybody in my Facebook group are amazing and I haven't had any issues. But some people I know have massive groups and they do experience issues with negativity, trolling, and even abusive comments. It's your job to set the ground rules and manage expectations. When admins or moderators remove a post that violates the rules of their community and their group, Facebook now notifies the member with details of the group rules and in particular which group rule that they broke. This is a really great new feature from Facebook, and that helps all of us who are adminning and managing a Facebook group. So I'd love to hear from you about how you're using Facebook groups. This is my very first Facebook group. I've studied them. I've been in groups. This is the first group that I have launched for a niche community. So I'm sure I can learn lots from you. Maybe you even want to come on the podcast and tell me your experience. If you want to discuss your Facebook marketing strategy, then why not get in touch? You can drop me an email to joanne@digitaltraining.ie.
Social media tool of the week.
The social media tool that saved my working week this week is Gritix. Gritix is a software as a service solution for social media analytics on Facebook groups for community managers, web marketers, and PR managers. It allows organizations of all sizes to improve customer relationships through the analysis of publications on their Facebook groups. It helps them gain marketing intelligence, to engage and deliver a better service to clients or fans, to measure, predict, improve group performance, and to enhance the overall community management. Why not try it out for yourself? Log on to gritix.com and I'll spell it. It's GRYTICS.com. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 116 of JSB Talks Digital. If you're a regular listener to the show, I'd love a review. And as always, I have everything discussed on today's show on my award-winning blog over at digitaltraining.ie. If you're a marketing or communications professional working in the public sector, I've now launched my Public Sector Marketing Pros podcast series. You can find it at publicsectormarketingpros.com, where you'll also find details of my new accredited diploma. Thanks as always for tuning in to the show. And if you have a question or you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, then please reach out. You can send me a tweet to @tweets by JSB, post a comment on our Facebook page at Digital Training Institute. You can also send me a snap to JSB Snaps or find me on Instagram at JSB Grams. I'm Joanne Sweeney Burke. This is JSB Talks Digital. Thanks for listening and I'll talk to you soon.
JSB Talks Digital.